I don't normally do these kinds of videos, but my friend, the Sixers superfan Andrew Baumer, asked me what happened to Eric Snow, and I genuinely wanted to know. Like, how did a guy go from this to this? Now, I get how some pro athletes blow up after retirement, like Antoine Walker, no offense. I mean, some dudes look like they can't wait to not have to work out. But Eric Snow, who played with Allen Iverson, was super thin. This video looks at the real reason Snow gained so much weight and looks at other players who go from exercise to extra fries. Yo, it's AM Hoops. Hit subscribe for 5 videos per week, including Feature Friday. Normally, it's about a more serious subject. Not today, though. Monday through Friday, all week long, you will be an entertained NBA fan. Now, before we get into this, I know some commenters are going to accuse me of fat shaming, and that's not true. I am totally down if you want to get fat. It's your decision. Live your life. For me, though, it's just not ideal. I have shared that before. I had an awkward phase. I was the fat kid in school. Someone once nicknamed me Big Dirty Casey. I'm not making that up. Did not think it was funny at the time, but when I got older, I became obsessed with skateboarding and I started watching what I ate, so whatever. For NBA athletes, it is usually the opposite though. They are in superhuman shape and then they let everything go. So, what happened to Eric Snow? Well, his biggest moment in the NBA was the 2001 playoffs, giving the Sixers 30+ minutes a night in their run to the NBA Finals on a bum ankle. He broke it during the season and it wasn't fully healed. Then he injured it again in Game 4 of the Finals. He recently said, quote, "It never really was the same for the rest of my career, even now." He played 7 more seasons in the league, returning to the Finals in 07 with LeBron and the Cavs. But he was forced to retire because of another injury to his knee. Look, it's bad enough when the discipline of daily workouts are taken away from retired players, but for Eric Snow, he has had serious, lifelong lower body injuries to deal with. This wasn't like some lazy guy either. He was all NBA defense in his career. I can't imagine how tough it must be for these guys to go from eating enough to sustain an NBA lifestyle running miles every night to just sitting around on the couch or on the sidelines. Like, what if you don't just naturally eat less? That's what happens when you keep eating that way. Snow was a coach in the G League and in college, and we've seen his weight increase every year. From updates he has given, it sounds like Snow still experiences pain from his playing days, but also he seems happy, and that is the bottom line. A different player, though, has a much sadder story. Caleb Swanigan went from playing on the Trailblazers to this in 1 year at 23 years old. Swanigan was a late first-round pick by Portland in 2017, which was an amazing turnaround after one of the worst childhood situations I have heard in pro sports. He's from Indianapolis, and he was born to a crack-addicted father and a mom who had 6 kids. Caleb lived in 5 different homeless shelters and attended 13 different schools by the time he was 13 years old. Poverty also contributed to poor habits. He ate unhealthy food and battled weight issues as a kid. Caleb's father actually died of diabetes and weighed nearly 500 pounds, so obesity runs in his family. But at 13 years old, he was saved by his basketball coach. Roosevelt Barnes adopted his player and turned his health around with the sport. Caleb became one of the best high school players in the country, and by the time he graduated, he was Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana, a McDonald's All-American, and a 5-star recruit, accepting a scholarship to Purdue. He was a standout in college, became a first-round pick. He impressed in Summer League, but that is when trouble came back. He didn't earn much playing time, and he was back and forth to the G League. Caleb was traded eventually to the Kings after 2 seasons, and after a short return to the Blazers, he is out of basketball. This was taken of Caleb as he walked into a court date for marijuana charges. He pleaded guilty, and social media had their fun. His ex-teammates, though, came to his defense. You don't know what he is going through to cause a drastic change. If you gonna be supportive, then do that, but don't ask no shit like that like it's not possible when you naturally a big dude and go down a dark road. And Dame is 100% right. This video is not poking fun at NBA players who let themselves go. This video is showing that sometimes life is still great for these guys. but sometimes it's not. Don't believe everything you see on social media. We don't know the details on Swanigan, but I think it was tough to accept not excelling in the NBA when you were just a stud in high school and in college. When the pandemic hit, he was locked up like the rest of us, and he went to a dark place, like Dame said. The next one is the most real example of them all. Mike Bibby. This guy retired and got more jacked? What? This picture went viral because he looks nothing like the skinny dude who used to play with LeBron on Miami. He said recently, quote, "I was always built like this. It's just that NBA teams never wanted me to lift. It's what I do. I love lifting weights. I love to work out and I love extra work. Just ask me." So basically he lives in the gym, lifting weights and coaching ball in retirement. Since he is not an NBA point guard anymore, Bibby can put on whatever muscle he has always wanted. A YouTuber named More Plates, More Dates actually thinks Bibby is on steroid for no other reason than to look good. And I guess that's why most people do steroids. But the truth is, we rarely see NBA players get more in shape after they retire. Most guys look like Charles Barkley, Shaq, or Magic Johnson, who have added pounds since they stopped playing. Their activity level is suddenly much lower. They don't have that same motivation to get in shape for a season coming up. Nothing's mandatory. It makes sense. If someone's writing you $1 million checks to stay in shape, then all of a sudden that stops, you gain weight. Some get bigger than others. Eric Snow still deals with injury that I'm sure make it difficult to work out. I don't know what Chuck's excuse is, but it is totally normal to gain weight after an athlete quits. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. In the case of Caleb Swanigan though, it's a sign something is really wrong because he gained the weight so fast and at a young age. But for all the others we've talked about, it is totally normal. We forget these players are just people like anyone else. While they're playing, guys put them on such a pedestal like they're superhuman, so when they gain weight after retirement, people freak out. There's actually nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with the people who are shocked that a person gets fat in retirement at 50 plus years old. It's called America. This video is about a guy who is still in shape, but has run into some trouble since he retired. Jordan Hill, ex-Laker. Check it out.